I'm sure you're ready to try making content online, or you're ready to make your next piece of content, but I want you to stop for a second and think about the process in which you've been creating content, or the process you've thought about creating content with. We want to think about what's the most efficient way to make it. That way you can get more done in less time. One of these depends on the platform, but number one is your thumbnails, your titles, and your subject. The most important thing here, I would say, is the subject, because that is essentially the groundwork for what you are creating. Depending on your platform comes the thumbnail and the titles. Now, when it comes to the thumbnail, if you're on a platform that utilizes them, then I would recommend following some of these rules. Keep them simple and easy on the eyes. If you look at them and they look too complicated, then maybe change it. And if you don't find anything wrong with it, maybe find somebody that you trust, have them look at it, don't tell them anything about it, and then see what they think about it, and then make the proper changes. Don't fill it with too much text or complicated terminology that only experts will know, and limit the thumbnail to at most 3 subjects so that it looks easy to understand and interpret. Titles, they should be straightforward and easy to read for people who might pass by your content. Ideally, when it comes to titles, I would recommend writing down a few titles, and then that will give you an idea for how you should be framing your content as well as future content. Making your script or creating bullet points, setting up a structure for the content that you are making so that you don't lose your spot when you're creating the content, because I know I've had that problem before and I've saved a lot more time while being able to get the points I want to cross, no problem. Gathering footage, this is where you have to either start recording yourself or searching on your computer or on the internet for material to use for your content. So you want to get exactly what you need, and generally no more, no less, but sometimes getting a little extra does help, especially if you feel like you're missing something, or you can add a little bit more flair to your editing, and maybe that little bit of extra is what you need. And my general advice for this is, when you are scripting or listening back to your audio, really look at what's being written or said and think about what footage you need for that specifically. Alright, so we've reached the final stretch, which is your recording. Now this can either have 1 or 2 parts depending on the content you're doing. If you're doing voiceover, make sure your audio is good. Test that out before doing your final session. Make sure that your settings in whatever program you're using are all set, and then make sure you're in a good space that's quiet, that has little interruptions, so you can get through this in a timely manner. Now, this also kind of applies for if you're recording yourself with a camera. Make sure your gear is set up, make sure the settings are all good, make sure your environment is the way you want it to be for the recording, and if not, maybe clean it up, do some adjustments if you're trying to do something unique with it, so then that way you don't have to worry about any technical issues that could have been fixed prior. Putting everything together. Now that everything has been recorded, scripted, and crafted, all we have to do is put it all together in a culmination that is your video. And the reason I recommend doing the previous steps in the order I did is because this will allow you to have everything done and ready for the editing process. But also, after you edit and it's done rendering, you can post it on whatever site, YouTube for example, and then guess what? As soon as you start uploading, your thumbnail's finished, your title has been thought out and prepared, and now you can focus on going to your next project, or even optimizing your search engine results, because that's also a very useful step, but that's definitely more on the post-production side of things rather than the production side of things. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you later.